Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Thriving Thursday. It's January 14th. I'm excited to be here with you today. Our quote of the day is, "You never fail until you stop trying," Albert Einstein. Some dates to take note of. We've got our national conference around the corner coming up on March 18th. That's going to be 3 full days of fantastic training. You absolutely want to be present for those 3 days. It's our time to learn about a lot of new and exciting announcements coming out. We also have some fantastic training from leaders across the nation. So absolutely be at our national conference. It's going to be online March 18th through the 20th. The theme is shifting higher into focused transformation. Really looking forward to our national conference. And we also have our leaders retreat coming up in August 13th through the 17th. We're going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Very excited to see you all there. Every Monday, we've got our Founders Live at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure that you're present for those. Those are a lot of fun. We've got important announcements there, as well as recognition, a story of the week, and some training. So that's our opportunity to meet with Bob Snyder each and every week. So make sure that you're present for the Founders Live. Every Monday night, this is new as of this week, we've got our national study groups now that we're offering, and we're starting with the essentials. So every Monday at 7 p.m., tune into the study group. If you haven't already, you'll definitely want to download the Renatus Helios app. And then when you're at the App Store, make sure to give it 5 stars and know how to locate your access code, and why that's important is mentioned in those Monday Founders Lives. So if you're not sure, the purpose of the app and what we're doing with that, definitely go back to the last 2 weeks of Founders Live. Bob Snyder talks all about the Helios app. It's really, really exciting. I don't want to take too much time here explaining it, so do watch that recording if you missed the Founders Live on Monday. Every week, we've got our private capital masterclass. Dane Clark's doing a fantastic job at facilitating that. Make sure you're watching your classes and attending this private capital masterclass, bringing your questions to that, bringing the conversations that you're having. It's been a lot of fun. We also have our dream call that's happening Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to about 9:45 Mountain Time. That is our daily real estate action mastermind where we talk all about real estate investing. Bring your questions, bring your successes and your wins, and we will see you there at 9 o'clock. We've got our fabulous Friday morning every Friday with Lily. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock to 9 Mountain Time, and that's all about marketing. And last but not least, we've got our Zoom up call. That's Monday through Friday at noon. Michael Huggins and Scott Rowe have put that together, and they do a somewhat of an interview with a different student each day. And so we've got over 50 of those now. They're very short and sweet, just 15 to 20 minutes. Very, very great exposure for your guests to have your guest understand what's happening with Renatus. So tune into those Zoom up calls. They're all recorded if you're not able to make it live. OES.com is a website that just talks about the optional event subscription, what that is, and why you want to be a part of that. Every Tuesday, we have a Profits Intro. Thank you, Bob Tierney, for taking care of that for us. So that's at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. If you've got people who are interested in our profits education, take advantage of this event that's put together by Bob Tierney. Last night, we had a really, really cool house tour. We toured Tim Vreeland's property. This is one of, I believe, 6 of the current projects he's working on. Purchase price is $330,000. Rehab is $72,000. And there are some other numbers in there that I didn't include as far as the closing costs and holding costs. So the ARV is $525,000, and Tim is looking at a potential net profit of $50,000. So congratulations, Tim. Love seeing all the different tours that we have each week. It's really cool to see the different projects people are working on. And make sure that you're bringing your guests to the house tour. We had over 100 people online last night, so that was really, really awesome. Great job, everyone, for building for that event. Also, alongside the house tour, we also have the AIT bonus track study group offered in in Spanish. So that's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We've got the English house tour and then the Spanish bonus track study group. Thursdays, so tonight, we've got all kinds of events going on. Just you get to pick and choose what it is that you'd like to go to and what you feel would be best for your guest. So at 7 p.m., we've got all of these things happening simultaneously. Our house tour is offered in Spanish tonight. And then we also have our Pillars of Wealth in English, our follow-up and funding webinar. We've got our onboarding session for new students, and guests are also welcome. We have an essentials study group, as well as multifamily wholesaling and short-term rental study groups. You can catch these recordings on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Renatus Team Elevate. Lots of important announcements there, plus these recordings, as well as networking with other Renatus students. Our YouTube channel is Elevate Renatus. You can catch these recordings there, as well as the Zoom up calls that I just mentioned. There's a whole playlist of those Zoom up calls that you can send to your guests. It's a great way to get them introduced to who we are and what we do. So today, we get to learn from Ryan Black. I'm so excited to have Ryan here today. He is a key leader in our Elevate team, and I'm excited for what he's got to share with us. So Ryan has been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades and has been in Renatus now for about 5 years. He's done many different transactions, including residential and commercial flips. He's got rentals, he's done wholesaling, and more. He's been the member of the PAC, the President's Advisory Council, for a while now, and he is a top income earner. So absolutely someone you definitely want to listen, take notes. And again, I'm excited for what Ryan has to share with us today. Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Good morning, Keely. Doing awesome. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you.
Thank you for the opening and the announcements and the intro. And thank you for taking ownership on these morning calls. I know you're here day in and day out, taking care of the nationwide community on these calls. So I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. So thank you. I am gonna probably keep my camera off this morning. Well, I'll turn on for a second so that I can smile at you guys and say hi. Geez, say hi. Say hi, kids.
Hi.
Wave. Hey. Hey, where's, oh, she's hiding. Anyways, I'm driving the kids to school, so I'm just gonna turn the camera off here. But what we're doing, so forgive me for that. So this will be a little audio only, so you don't end up staring out the window of my car. What we're gonna go over today is something that's really, really, I think drives a lot of people to get involved in Renatus from the very beginning. And that is, what is your exit strategy or your transition plan? And how, you know, whatever it is you're currently doing, how is it that you're going to transition from there to either, you know, some people want to just do work, you know, their Renatus business part-time, or a lot of people, even those who start with that mindset, say, I want to do this full-time. And so what does that look? How is that done? What's the best way to do it? Is there a right and a wrong way? Absolutely. Because for a lot of people on the line, that's their goal. That's their end goal, is to transition full-time into Renatus. And once you transition full-time into Renatus, that be a full-time or a part-time thing. What do I mean by that? Well, it may be the only thing that you do is run your Renatus business, but that doesn't mean that you're working equivalency of a full-time job, right? As far as hours, because the income that you've replaced, you can make the same amount of money you were making before by working half the amount of time. And so I want to kind of have a discussion with you guys and find out some of your concerns, questions, doubts. So feel free to come off of mute, throw them in the chat. And I want this to be, you know, for your benefit. When we started, when my wife Laura and I started, because we run this business together, you know, we got started in February of 2016, and it was really about 6 months in when we transitioned, you know, fully over this. We didn't at that time. We waited until it was a full year, and then you know, we kind of dropped everything else that we were doing and dedicated 100% to this. And so there's some certain things that I'm going to want you to look. People come in this business and try to transition out. Some people do it too soon, right? They make a couple of sales, or they do one deal and make a little bit of money and then think, sweet, now I am going to just transition and I am done. I'm firing my boss. I'm gonna go tell him where to shove it, and I'm out of here. That's not really the best option. So the first thing you want to look at is the question you want to ask yourself is, what is my end game? What is your end game? Are you, because like I said, not everybody wants to quit their day job or what it is they're currently doing. If maybe they're running another small business, you know, is what you're hoping to achieve in Renatus, is that to complement or supplement what you're currently doing? or is it to replace what you're currently doing? Because those are, you know, fairly different goals. And so, depending on where you're at there, and there's not like right or wrong answer, everybody's different. But today we're specifically talking about replacing what you're doing and transitioning out fully. So that's the first thing is do I want to fully transition out of my current gig? And if so, what's my time range, right? Is this something I want to do within the next, less than 12 months, couple of years, next 5 years? What is that? What is that? It's going to help determine at what speed you.
Ryan, you're cutting out a little bit. And
a cash flow game.
Ryan,
you guys understand? Oh, yes.
you were cutting out just a little bit there. We lost maybe the last 30 seconds.
Oh. See, look at this. Oh, you're right. I do have a low, signal coverage here. Sorry about that. So the first question, I'm saying these are some questions you want to go. The first question is, do you want to transition full-time into Renatus, or do you want it to be a part-time gig? The first thing you need to look at and how quickly you want to do that, because not everybody wants to do it. But if so, how much income do I need to replace? Anyone who's played the cash flow game understands that in order to, if you're out of the rat race, the more income you have, the harder it is to get out of the rat race. So, if you're the janitor in the game, it's a lot easier to get out of the rat race than if you're the doctor. And so you need to truly look at and say, okay, what level of income do I need to produce? And you need to include not only your salary, but also benefits too. Because all of a sudden, if you're not, you don't have health insurance coverage and other expenses or other, things that are covered, you're going to need to factor all that in and figure out what level of income do I need to produce on a monthly basis consistently in order to say goodbye to my boss. And then, in looking at what your timeline is of how you're going to, when you want to make that happen, how much you're going to need to produce, then you're going to want to look at, okay, what income strategies or income, generating strategies am I going to use to make that happen? And the awesome thing is we have different ways of making money, right? With Renatus, you can do active, short-term investments. You can do more passive long-term investments as an ICM. Phenomenal way to replace your income through the income opportunity, marketing, the education. And so you want to kind of look at all those different things and say, what strategies do I need to implement, and how many of those do I need to do on a monthly basis in order to replace that income? So you create a little bit of that strategy as well. So that's another thing to look at. Now, one thing that I've seen is with a lot of folks, they need to they get out too early. They get excited and then they get desperate and they say, I just want to quit my job, and if I dedicate full time to Renatus, then I will be able to generate the income that I need to make it happen. So now that's a mistake. That is, it doesn't work that way. You need to ensure that you understand that you're skilled enough and experienced enough in running your business with investments, with marketing, with everything, to where you can generate, a little. If you're unable to generate sufficient income working at part-time, then you're not going to be able to generate enough income if you dedicate full-time, because you lack the knowledge, you lack the experience. And so that thought of, oh, I will quit so that I can have more time and turn around and learn how to do it, that usually doesn't work out very well. Now, the exception to that would be if you, for some reason, have some big nest egg of money that you can live off of for the next, year or so. then maybe you might want to consider it. But overall, you want to make sure that that you've been able to replace your income in a way that before transitioning to full time. So let me check the chat and see if we have any questions. Okay, so looks like we do have a couple questions. Let's address those. Okay, so we've got, so Bilal says, I always have doubts because I am a foreigner and English is not my first language. Okay, so I got you there, Bilal. The good thing is we have a lot of people in the community who English is not their first language, right? It's their second or even third language. And so as we, I would invite you to maybe talk with some of those people and find out how their journey has been for them. I've seen so many people do it, so it's definitely possible. And I would invite you to, rather than seeing that as a stumbling block or as a challenge, we all have different challenges that we face in our business. Just one of yours may be the language barrier. But as you practice and as you learn, you'll be able to overcome that, because I've seen countless examples of people who have done that.
Hi, Ryan.
Even with language.
Yeah, this is Gilda. So yeah, for Bilal's question, I just wanted to mention to him, I don't know if he knows Steve Namora, because I am from the Philippines, so I'm not using that as my excuse. So, but Steve Namora is a really big thing in our community, that when he bought the education, he did not know English. And it took him like 2 years to even learn. He was going through his education and had his dictionary to learn even, the language, because he didn't understand English. And now he's got, I don't know, he's got like a lot of properties that he's renting. So it's he makes like I think 70,000 a month, for monthly, passive income. So it's it's not, well, don't make it as an excuse, or not an excuse, or like like a hurdle for you to do that, because you could do it. Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. I love Steve
Yes.
Nomura, his story. I mean, he's a great guy,
Yeah.
and I love his story, because he used a Japanese to English dictionary to translate word by word, because he didn't speak English. He didn't understand it. Yeah, now he's done hundreds and hundreds of deals. So yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so language barrier may potentially slow down your timeline in what you're doing versus somebody in the language, but to stop you. I know so many people who really have language limitations that are in this business and do phenomenally. So that does not have to be a barrier for you. And then we got Brian. Oh, and then Brian commented, I second on quitting too soon. I did that and struggled for years. It added unnecessary stress. Yeah, thanks, Brian. That's really what we're trying to avoid, because there's nothing worse than, getting excited and then quitting too soon. And then a month or two later, realizing, uh-oh, my money's run out. Now I got to go back and get another job, either try to go get rehired again where I worked. And now everyone is like saying, see, you said you're gonna do real estate and you didn't, you failed, welcome back. Like, they're almost like happy to see that you failed, because if you didn't fail, then that would mean you were right and that they are the ones who need to make a change. Like, it's people are funny, but in part, a lot of times people want to see us fail and what we're trying to do. People scarcity mindset, and so we don't want to let them be right. But we really want to do is make sure that the transition goes smooth and you don't get out too early. It does add unnecessary stress, and it makes it to where, on the investing side, you're going to be making decisions that you shouldn't be making. You're going to say, you know what, this deal kind of works. Maybe if I fudge in numbers, I can make it work. But at the same time, so you're going to invest in things that you shouldn't because you're desperate. Or you're working with some prospects, helping them get started in the education, say something, make a promise, things like that you shouldn't do because you're desperate to make the sale. So you do not want to put yourself in that position of desperation. And that's why it's important to get that solid income, coming while you're looking at the transition. And this is a common question that I'll ask, new students when we're helping them get started, is if they're saying, yeah, I just want to quit my job and do this full time. I've been looking for this for years. I will say, okay, I love the enthusiasm. I'm glad that you're, excited about doing this. Let's just step back for a quick second and take a look at your situation. You're going to need to study for a while, and then it's going to get you, it's going to take you a while to find a deal and get going. And then you typically don't get paid until the end of the transaction. So for the next while, do you have enough income to, cover your living expenses, to buy food, groceries, keep a roof over your head, and we kind of look and make sure, because if they're like, oh, I just got fired and I have no income, but I'm going to do this, and they're expecting to make, $500,000 tomorrow, we want to make sure that we manage those expectations. So otherwise you make poor investing choices. You maybe can start bending the rules as an ICM, and neither of those things are going to get you to a place where you want to be in your business. So very, very, very important. Do we
And
have?
Ryan,
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
I also want to add, for people, because sometimes, they don't realize, how important personal credit and business credit are.
Uh-huh.
And before they exit the W-2 job, it's really important, that, we have to build our personal credit and our business credit, because once you become a business owner and you don't have a W-2, it's harder to be lendable. So if people can do that before they quit their W-2 job, then that would be better.
Yes, that's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Mhm.
Yeah, once you're, even if you have, as you're running your business as a business owner, even if you have great revenue, right? You have great revenue and your books are clean and everything, it is such a pain to get traditional financing.
Yes.
And it is like, we went through that last year when we were getting some financing for this house where we live. We're like, okay, we need to go back and modify our taxes to show the income. We're like, how much income do we need to show? And like, we couldn't get a clear answer. And they were like, the bank was like really confused. They're like, well, how much do you make? I'm like, no, that's not the question. It's how much do we need to see? How much do you
Right.
need to see? Because I don't want to pay, a couple
A lot of
$100,000 in taxes right now.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just want to make what you need me to make. And yeah, so if you can, do it, getting the HELOCs lined up, or maybe you're picking up a rental with traditional financing, whatever it is you want to do, make sure you
Yes.
get that dialed in
Yeah.
before
Yeah, I see
you
that
quit the
every day.
W-2.
In fact, I just turned down, one applicant that has a really good income, but because, she's got a lot of write-offs and all that stuff, because, she did not want to pay any taxes on her husband. And I said, I'm sorry, you can't buy this house. I mean, she wanted to buy a house that was like close to $500,000. And I said, you can't, you can't get a smaller one. But so I had to tell them that this is what you need to do, and to be able to get that done, you got to show this much income, considering your financial is going to stay the way it is now. And so we're going to have to wait another, year to be able to do that. So yeah, so it's really important. So
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because that's, sometimes people, they quit and then they're like, oh no, I can't get a loan. Oh yeah, you
right,
should have done that a month ago.
right,
So
exactly. Yeah,
let's
with
see.
having a zero, a free credit repair and all that with your accounts, there's really no reason for people not to take advantage of that. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Making sure that your personal credit's lined up, business credit. But even if you have great credit, ensuring that you kind of get what you can before you check out from your day
correct.
job
That's
will
correct.
smooth the transition for sure.
Yes.
We've got, let's see, Rick asks, how has your transition to online been? It was face-to-face business. Now that we're all online using Zoom. Yeah, that's a good question, Rick. It's it's been interesting. So last year was definitely a year of learning and growth as we tried lots of different things. We're still learning. We're still trying new things, of course. For So for us, I mean, Renatus really is a relationship business. And so the way that we run our business is um, we build relationships, either with people that we already know, and invite them to get into real estate investing, or as we meet new people. I think probably the last 5 or 6 um, combos that we've sold are people that we've basically met in the last year. It's just people that we're friendly, and we make friendships, and we meet people that we'd like to hang out with and like to work with, and then as we get to know them better, and we talk about what we do and find out if they're interested in doing it. And some people are and some people aren't. But it really people tend to overcomplicate this business. It's really not that hard. You just be nice and build relationships and talk about what you're doing, and people will want to do it, especially when you're a product of the product and you're able to show that that it actually happens. So we continue to obviously we have everything online. We invite folks to come live to our house tours when they can, but since we have everything available online, we could do a fully online process, as far as inviting somebody to an event and then doing a follow-up and everything all online through Zoom. I still prefer to do face-to-face where possible. We have all of the systems and resources in place to be able to do 100% online. So there's been learning points, and I mean some stumbling blocks and stuff, but I'm confident that in this year we will continue to build more momentum in the online sphere, and streamline that as well with different some of the cool things right now. So it's just the only constant in life is change. We will go back to having live meetings, I'm sure, but right now we're simply doing both, a little bit of both. So yeah, it's the thing is whether it's shifting to online or anything else, there's been a lot of changes in the time in the company, in the time that we've been involved with Renatus. And once again, the only constant in life is change. And so more important than actually being worried about, oh, what's going to happen with this and that. If you have the attitude of, hey, whatever comes, we'll adapt to it and make it work, that is what will keep your business thriving for years to come, because you're able to adapt to the change. The businesses that disappear, right? Blockbuster Video is the one that always comes to mind. Blockbuster, where's Blockbuster? They don't exist. Netflix took them out, right? And Netflix took them out because it's like, well, why would I drive down to the video store to rent a DVD when I could just do it from my computer and they automatically ship to my home, and then there's no late fees and then I can ship them back. And so Netflix put Blockbuster out of business. Now, then Netflix would have put itself out of business if they would have stayed, because then VOD, online streaming video on demand services started picking up. And so they said, well, we're going to modify our business now. Otherwise, we're going to become the next Blockbuster. And then they shifted to on demand. And I believe Netflix still offers DVD rental. They did as of last year. I don't know if they still do now. But the majority of their business is through online streaming. So adaptability and the ability to change really are the key to one of the main keys to longevity in any business, right? Been doing business for over 20 years, different companies and startups, Renatus is the latest and my favorite, but there are certain key business principles that apply to any business you're doing, and so that's one of them. Oh yeah, Redbox too. Redbox also was they blasted Blockbuster.
What I'm really
Yeah.
present to is that mindset. My goodness, what I just got that epiphany of listening to you was, yeah, if the mindset is in like holding on, because my business is construction, face to face, meeting people face to face, one on one, just like literally right there. What I heard you really say is that if my mindset was going to continue to stay and hold on to that, then the transition to being online, the ability to have a conversation, ability to connect on Zoom to close, I wouldn't make that transition because I'm still holding on to the Blockbuster mentality. Oh, my Blockbuster, my Blockbuster, my Blockbuster. And what I just really got that big blast was, wow, we are changing, and embrace the change, embrace the suck, embrace the newness, really embrace that whole transition of we are online, we are moving into this thing. And actually, what a blessing in many forms, and find the blessings in that Netflix, and just being open to that. That's really what I'm just got present to. That's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Rick, for changing. And I love what you said. Embrace the change. And that's a good way. That's a really good way to put it, because absolutely, it's you either innovate or you despair. One or the other. And so trying to dig your heels in and go against the grain is not going to get you anywhere. And whether you're looking at longevity of your business, growing it, or transitioning, you've got to go with the flow. You've got to go with the flow and really say, I mean, okay, got to adapt. And stubbornness, the people who are stubborn are the ones who, oh, thank you, I will. Oh yeah, this was a national conference shirt from like I think 5 years ago. I love I treasure these national conference shirts. They're worth their weight in gold to me. So yeah, good points there, Rick. Let me check. Let's see. Got credit repair with Eric is free. Ryan asks, yes. Yeah, you go to creditnerds.com/Renatus, and then you can sign up for it there. All you got to do is maintain your credit monitoring service. Oh, Keely said that. Yep. And then the repair service is free. Redbox. Cool. Awesome. Is there anybody on the line right now who is trying to transition out and they have hit specific roadblocks?
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's where I'm at, because I am a high six-figure income earner. I have done very well in the marketing. I've done very well at wholesaling. I've done very well all over six figures, and the transition to this online, and that's where really what I hate to ask questions, but really right now what I'm doing is making that transition to online, and having the success in Renatus is having that skill set to close an individual while on the phone, getting a credit card while on the phone, because it has been a multiple, like pulling people. I used to have 20, 30, 50 people at house tours, and it's like, oh my goodness. And having that one-on-one relationship, because people trust you, and then getting to online is having a conversation to still have that trust, but just right here, and not like I could over talk when I was walking and just oversell myself. And it's like, oh, now it's having to really hone in that skill set to ask questions. I just watched the Jay Massey real estate sales, was like, oh, really, why? And being on that phone call, being on that conversation online to close an individual is really where the transition is for me. And I need to make quite a bit of money per month to go full time. So I'm right there with what you said, was I was just getting ready. I had $100,000 a month in January, and I started going like, okay, I'm going to make the transition, but then COVID hit, and then like I'm going to keep I have to keep my job because it's a high six-figure job. So, and I'm like, oh, this is great. But so my question is you've hit 3 or 4 different points that are specifically tied to me: high income earner, online, mindset. So my question is yeah, embrace this change for me is really super important.
Right. Well, and the thing is don't fear about speaking up, because if you have those questions or doubts or concerns, I guarantee you there's other people on the line that have the same one, and maybe they're just a little more bashful about speaking up. So um, I want to touch on the online closing thing. Obviously, it is more difficult to, and you've experienced this, if you have people in the room, you've got the social proof, people can see, smell, right? Man, this property stinks. Yeah, but it smells like money, man. Right? It is you have that face to face. There's an energy, right? You're able to read their full body language. You can feel their aura, their presence, their energy. They can feel yours. So there's that connection, the human connection that you're able to have when you're with them in person. But we have, I mean, we've got team members who have bought their, the Epix combo, and we've never met them in person, ever. And they live other places in the country. And why? The key is providing so much value and so much social proof that that they're able to trust you, even though they've never met you. And so that's where, once again, having everything online, maybe instead of going to one house tour and then them saying, oh, this is awesome, I'm ready to get started tomorrow, they'll need to go to 3 or 4 house tours, right? And maybe that's something where you say, hey, you know what, let's do 3-way calls. You work in this industry, and whatever, I've got another team member who works in the same industry. Let me get you on a 3-way call. I'd love for you to network with them, just introduce you so that they can tell you their story. And I think that you would really appreciate it, because you guys, your journey is potentially going to be kind of similar. And so, the 3-way calls, introducing them, because then it's not just about you. That's how you can get the social proof of somebody else who can, give validity to what you're saying. But when they see the house tours over and over again, the proof is there. The proof is there. And does it take longer? Absolutely. It's a slower process. But if you continue adding value, then you will, sooner or later, they will realize, okay, what this person's got is legit. They see, testimonials, see experiences, they meet people, excuse me. And so it just is a little bit slower, but that's fine. We got patience, and that's just adaptability. It's part of how we change and run the business, but it still works. So once again, any challenge, having to go online, having to whatever, we're simply looking at, cool, new opportunity for growth and change, and to make everything better, rather than saying, oh crap, we're screwed now, right? No, we simply, okay, cool, let's figure out what we got to do, and in the end, we'll have a better product for everybody. So
I think the study group, the corporate is offering is actually going to help us a lot, because when we have a guest that would know that they say like 500 people that are tuning in to the same study group, and I think that's going to really help us, promote the education.
Yes. Yeah. And it's run by Christian George, who is incredible and knows everything about real estate.
Yes.
I love Christian. He is awesome.
Yes, he is.
Let's see. Did Patricia, did you have a question? We see your hand was raised.
Oh, yes. Hi. I just wanted to share really quick my growth experience in Renatus during COVID. My plan, yesterday was my 28th anniversary at my W-2, and I was supposed to retire last year. And so that didn't happen. But my growth actually came in personal development, helping me to listening to all the mentors and reading the books help me realize what I needed to change to help me be who I needed to be and find my purpose. And so sometimes it's not always a big monetary advantage at first. Everybody, like you said, everybody's different, but you have to find how Renatus is going to help you be better and find your purpose. So I'm always so grateful that I found this community and it's helped me grow, and I'm on my way. I found opportunities coming to me that's going to help me retire 2023. And those steps are unfolding before me. So I'm very grateful. And thank you, Ryan. You're a wonderful mentor as well. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Patricia, and thanks for what you shared. There's two key things there I wanted to emphasize. One is, timeline. You mentioned 2023 is what you're on track for, and that is awesome. I think at times some of us tend to be external, and we want to compare ourselves to others. Like, well, she got out in like 6 months. She quit her job, and it only took him a year. And I've been involved for X amount of time. It doesn't matter. It's not a race. You don't know all the intricacies of that person's situation, their income, their expenses, their home situation, their family situation, their relationship situation, right? Where are they at in life? I mean, so we don't need to compare to anybody else. You are racing against yourself. Figure out what your plan needs to look like, and don't, because I've heard it. I'm saying it because I've heard it from so many people. Oh, well, I've been involved this many months or this many years, and I haven't done a deal yet, or I haven't done this, or I haven't done that. And then with a few simple questions, it can help them realize actually they've done incredible things. Because the second part of what you mentioned is the benefit that it's been for you personally from a personal development standpoint, right? We all get involved in Renatus because we want to improve our quality of our life. We want to improve the quality of our life in some way. And, for some people, the greatest value that they receive through Renatus is changing their mindset. They start off with a mindset that's in the gutter, that's garbage, that's just horrible. And if that's you, I hope I'm not offending you. Actually, I hope I am offending you. Because if you currently have that mindset, you better, and I'm not talking to you specifically, Patricia, I'm talking to everyone in general. So I'm not attacking you, but anybody, yeah, okay. But your mindset, needs to change. And that is, for some people, that's the greatest value is, and I've seen it happen in people. For some people, it's just the relationships, the network that they're currently involved in, maybe with work, even with their own family, with people that they surround themselves with, are people who are just dragging them down. They're dragging them down, and they're not allowing them to progress in, faith, family, fitness, finances, and fun. They're not helping them move forward. They're pulling them backwards. And a lot of us, it's a big help with the financial situation, right? With active investing, passive investing, marketing, credit, taxes, debt pay down. So whatever it is, I love Renatus because it morphs. It morphs to what you need. And if you embrace it and you study it and you get involved and you really humble yourself and say, where do I need to improve? What are my biggest areas that are opportunities for improvement? Then Renatus will truly be able to empower you to make that change. And does it take time? Of course. One of the things that Bob talks about is, he says, Renatus is really about becoming the very best version of yourself. And everybody has different things that they need to improve. And so, yeah, rather than just strictly looking at the dollar, I have made X number of dollars this month or this year because of Renatus. I mean, that's great. We all need money. But if you're looking at long lasting effect, something that will truly have an impact on your life and on your children's life and your grandchildren's life and your spouse's life, right? All of these things moving forward is that mindset. And that is one of the biggest key changes. So let me see what our chat looks like. We got a few more. Oh. So we just had a comment here. If ever am able to make it to nationals in person, which at the moment's not my scope, as in 2 years in, and I'm still aspiring in this community even 2 years in. Hey, if regardless of how long you've been involved in the business, if you haven't been able to come to the national conference, so 2021 is still going to be online. Next year it should be live again in person, but you can plug in online this year. I don't think they've announced pricing yet for it, but that should be coming soon if they haven't announced it publicly. The national conference is a phenomenal opportunity to learn and be trained by the best in the company. So absolutely would encourage you to do that. And definitely for 2022, figure out how to get to Utah. Start saving now if you have to, for your plane ticket and lodging and everything, because it will absolutely transform your business. We got involved in Renatus because of the national conference. I'm not going to share our story right now because we're almost out of time, but because of the going to a national conference is what made my wife and I say, we are doing this. And so, yeah, man, we love the national conferences. They're life-changing. Paul says, I'm in transition. I have fear of talking to people and carrying the conversation forward. I feel you, Paul. When I got started 5 years ago, I was a massive introvert and would physically shake when talking to people that I didn't know. And so it goes back to becoming the very best version of yourself. And that was one of the things that people who have known me a long time know. They're like, oh yeah. But the people who have only known me afterwards, they're like, what, you train in front of thousands of people and you do all this and in other languages. And it's like, well, yeah, it hasn't always been that way. So it doesn't matter what what that fear is or a thing that's holding you back. It's just a decision, man. It's a decision to say, doing a SWOT analysis on yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and on your business and on where you're at, and say, okay, what's holding me back? And if that's what's really holding you back right now, is like, man, that fear of talking to people and getting out of my shell. There's a lot of people in the business that have that fear, even people that have been doing it a long time. And I still get uncomfortable from time to time. I mean, I'm a lot better now, but I still get nervous. But it's like, well, do I want to run my business or I don't want to be nervous? So as you go through that personal development and break out of that shell, some people, they're very much people a people person. It's very easy. My wife is a good example of that. Very natural. She can talk to anybody and it's like enjoyable and easy for her. For me, it's more difficult because of my personality, but that's fine. You identify it and you work towards overcoming that so that it's not hindering you in your business. And before you know it, you'd be like, oh, wow, look how far I've come. Look how much easier it is for me now. Never sold online. We talked a bit about that. We all need to drive race cars really, really fast. Yes, Josh. Yes, we do. I want to go. We need to go and do a track day and pick up a tip or two from a pro driver like you. I'd love to do that. That'd be fun. Let's see. Okay, so true. Notice. I'm just making sure I addressed all the questions here. Yes, coming to Renatus is a complete mindset change. Absolutely. Like Keely, yep, the relationships have been key for her. So Patricia says, I need to be called out. How else will I know what I need to change unless I know? And that's a true thing. Sometimes you don't know what you need to change. Sometimes it's easy. So if you're like, well, I want to progress, I want to improve, but I'm not exactly sure what things are the most prevalent, you can ask if you have a significant other or spouse, go to them. They'll probably be glad to point out your flaws. You say, look, I want to improve with kindness. Please tell me what are a couple of the top things you see that I could do better on that would serve me in our relationship, in life, right? Everything else. Another option is, your parents, if they're still around. You could, ask them or siblings or even your friends, right? You have friends that you're really tight with. You can say, be straight with me, don't sugarcoat it. I'm really working on this personal development thing. I'm trying to be a better person, a better entrepreneur, a better, everything. What are some areas in my life that you say, man, you could really improve? I want to be a better friend. And if you're genuine and authentic, those people, be it their friends or family members, they'll be straight with you and they'll tell you what you need. And then Rick says, I remember Woody said we need mindset, skill set, and tool set. What is my best daily habit that covers all three of these? Mindset, skill set, and tool set. Yes, I've done actually one-on-one training with Woody too. So we've been over that a lot. For me, it's there's a lot of things. For me, it's just remaining organized and making sure that I go quickly, because I've got a lot going on between the PAC stuff and running the Renatus community in Utah, and our active investments, our passive investments. We have a massive team. We've got direct guests that we're always working with. Laura and I are working with. We've got team guests that we're always working with. And so it's a lot to juggle. There's a lot going on. And so for me, the mindset, we've already got that the mindset, we don't have to, that's already like emblazoned in our minds because we've been working on that for so long. The skill set, so we don't have to worry about the mindset. The skill set is something that we have developed over the years, and the tool set is just all the tools provided by corporate, as well as some things that we've created here locally. So it's just organization, time optimization, and that's a whole nother topic for another day, for another call. But some of the things, they simply take time to develop. And so the consistency in working your business and finding those optimizations, SWOT analysis is a big thing for me. So you look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and you analyze your business and figure out where you're hemorrhaging time, where you're hemorrhaging money. And if you do regular SWOT analysis on your business, you will be able to identify what those pain points are. And then you'll be able to plug that in. Okay, is this a mindset issue, a skill set issue, or a tool set issue? Sorry, I gave kind of a generic answer, but everybody's business is what you need is more a function of where you're at. And so the SWOT analysis will be an effective resource to be able to identify those and then dial in the exact solution. Overcoming the struggle in marketing. It is a struggle. Just keep it up, Bobby. Good things come to those who persist. Gotta go. Okay, I think my watch is charging right now, so I'm not even sure what time it is. I think it's probably, we're probably at the top of the hour.
9:58, Ryan.
Okay, yep. So that's it. So it's time for us to.
Hey, Ryan.
To button things up. Yeah.
What does SWOT stand for again, please? That was really good.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I actually have to give. I'll give a little plug for myself. I've got a little podcast, and we did an episode a while back on SWOT analysis. So it's like a full episode where we deep dived into SWOT analysis and how that, how you can do that on your business. So if you guys are interested in learning more about that, you can go to championhustle.com, and that's our podcast, Champion Hustle, and you can listen to that episode of all about SWOT analysis. I can't remember what episode number it is, but it's a very powerful tool to you and your business. Some transition. Thank you. Yeah, yes, read books. Support team. If your support team is lacking, then you need to create a new support team. Yeah, your new support team is this community, because perhaps the people that you're surrounded with in life are folks who simply don't have the right mindset. And that doesn't mean they're bad people or anything like that. They simply don't share your mindset. It's time for you to upgrade your friends. Bob talks about that. Upgrade your friends. If you're the smartest, strongest, healthiest, wealthiest person in your circle, it's time to upgrade your friends. You can still be nice and friendly, but those are not the people you're going to be hanging out with on the weekends, because they're not going to help you progress. They're going to just keep you where you're at or pull you backwards. So your relationships will evolve over time as you evolve. So yeah, if you're feeling stuck with your relationships, time to upgrade them, and you have a bunch of great ones right here in the community. Absolutely. Yep, never give up. And SWAT. Okay, cool. I think we got through all the questions or the comments. So thanks, guys. It's been fun. I've enjoyed sharing this call with you today. Hopefully there's been a nugget or two that you've been able to take away and you'll be able to apply in your business. And yeah, so once again, I'll just echo the plug on national conference that's coming up. So it's online, so it's easy to plug in. You got to take a day or two off, from work or whatever, to be able to sit down and dedicate time to it. Definitely, it will benefit you in your business and in both businesses, because the concepts, the ideas, the strategies that are taught don't just apply to your marketing business. You use them as a real estate investor as well, or as a business owner if you own other businesses. So thanks, guys. Appreciate your interaction and comments and questions. Hope you have a great day. Great day. Thanks, Keely, again for hosting, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank
That
you,
was
Ryan.
phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Yes, it was great. Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you,
we love you
Keely.
all. You're welcome, Gilda. Thanks everyone for the participation. This was a great call. Love you all so much. And we'll see you on the Dream Call and tonight at our events. Take care, everyone.